Audio test complete. The before the show has been recorded. Notes taken. Oh, hello there. Hi, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of the Digital Quill Podcast with your host, Mars Wilson. Today's kind of a fun episode because, yes, I brought notes. And yes, I pre-recorded the show before this. Why? Because I think I might have mentioned that, but just in case I haven't, I came up with this stupid idea to feed the content machine far off into the future, because instead of always worrying about it, I could be planning content for it to feed the content beast that is the social media algorithm. Because, you know, you're here on the internet. I'm sure you understand what I'm talking about just a little bit, and if you don't, come back in a couple of years. You might understand then. Enough time spent here, you learn some stuff about algorithms and people and the weirdness of the internet and life and how it distorts the weirdness of life into a bad distortion of weird. We'll get to that in a moment. Anyway, a year from now, or a year from episodes where I have a before the show recorded, I might release a before the show episode to be like, hey, it's the 1 year anniversary of such and such episode where we did blah blah blah. Here's a mini episode recorded before that I haven't touched since it was recorded. So you're welcome. Mostly to nobody or myself. I don't know. It's a content thing, okay? I'm kind of like not happy that this is like the world we live in, but it's the world we live in and I can't like press a button and change it overnight. So here we are, coming up with ideas to endlessly feed the content machine beast. Thank you, Spotify, or not Spotify, Substack. You're both S's. I'm. Can we just have one program? I mean, that is what a website is for. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm getting so far ahead of myself because what I'm talking about isn't even on my notes for today right now. Minus the internet distortion thing, which is something I came up in the before show, the before after show. The whatever show. It's titled before show, one word, in like the filings that I have them saved in that are like part of my folder. It's a weird setup. You would have to be me, I think, to understand the filing I have. But why are we here today, guys? Why did I go ahead and press record on this episode of the Digital Quill Podcast? Why is Mars currently shouting at you across the Ethernet or the internet or the whatever this is, whatever you're listening on? Why am I currently shouting at you? Well, first things first, I have a lot of anxiety. I'm sure you do too. I'm sorry. Anxiety pals? Thunder buddies? What's the that one theme song? How does it go? Thunder buddies, something, something, something. I don't know. I don't want to get a copyright strike on YouTube. By the way, they're kind of their policies are interesting. Interesting policies, especially when it comes to the reporting factor. I have a lot of anxiety, and I'm kind of I'm stalling. I'm stalling because I didn't want to create another 5 episode week. I mean, yes, I do want another 5 episodes this week. So this is the second episode of this week. First episode of this week. What day is it? What day are you listening to this podcast episode? I don't think that matters. But, especially, I mean, no. Thinking out loud. Sorry. Give me a minute. Nope. Coming back to reality. All right. Because I didn't want to pop on here and just talk at you a bunch of times, because honestly, as much as I do like talking, and I can for a very long, God forbid, awful time, you don't learn anything by always talking. I guess that's why I consume so much knowledge and information in one day. No wonder I'm burnt out by the time I wake up the next day, because I need another tech break. But, another knowledge break. No, that hurt. I can't do knowledge breaks. No, that physically hurt. Okay, I might need to unpack that one later. But yeah, I wanted to have guests on, and I guess that's kind of like where my anxiety is coming from, is I'm not talking to anybody else. I'm just talking here in, I guess, my space to you, and you're consensually agreeing to be here because you haven't left yet. And that's great. Thank you, by the way, for that. That helps a little bit of my anxiety, not gonna lie. But also, I had to reframe my intentions when it came to guests in this show, and to myself. I had to be like, okay, Mars, you know when you started this, it wasn't gonna be the Mars and guest show every single time. You knew starting this that you were going to be having to solo it quite often, probably a lot more than you're comfortable with. You're gonna have to get comfortable with soloing stuff for a long time, and I gave myself the same pep talk I gave when I was starting this, and then the same pep talk I gave when I decided to start it way back when, and it ended up being like, you're right, we should talk about that. We should talk about your anxiety when it comes to not having guests on, and how you want someone to hold your hand and talk to while you do this show when it's your show, you stupid broad. Wake the fuck up and go record your shit and talk about it, because I guarantee you there are many people who relate to that statement and who haven't even started their own show yet, which gets me to my next topic of today. We are moving absolutely right along, which is great to me, and I need to stop saying absolutely to absolutely everything. It's like another placeholder for the word like, which is another thing I need to stop. English is hard. Language, difficult. Need silence. Need cave words. Need pictograph. There are two people I know, well, 3, because one of them is a 2-host show, that I know who want to start a podcast with great topic ideas already started, like, to form with the idea of starting their shows, right? They haven't done it yet, and I keep slightly encouraging it a little bit, at least on one, and now I have another to encourage. If that was loud, I'm really sorry. I should have done a warning. Video episode part of is warning. Sorry that I what speech was that? Did I just have a stroke? But sorry. I'm excited. So my brain, even though it has topics of which to speak upon, it's excited. So it's like firework thoughts are going everywhere, and none of them are staying. They're fizzling and exciting, and it's not a train. My thoughts right now are not a train of thought, but a firework of thought. An explosion of thought. That is the first time I've ever reframed it as that. I don't know what word I was trying to say there. No, I don't know what word I was trying to say there. But that is the first time I've ever framed my thoughts as that, as an explosion of thoughts, like a firework of thoughts. That's interesting. Do you relate to that by chance? Was that like an interesting realization for yourself in this moment? We both have that realization right now. I mean, technically, we're doing it at different times, in different places. Time is weird. Time is really weird. And if you have a podcast idea, that was what the tapping was for on the microphone, do it. Do it. I was in a comment section on TikTok one time, and these people were like, we don't need more podcasts, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we do. We need more people talking to each other, more people sharing their stories and ideas. We don't need the fucking media and propaganda machine telling us what to think and feel. Go feel things and do things. Go be. Go exist. Go live. Do the podcast. Do the book. Write the story. It doesn't have to be great. You don't have to be perfect. It just has to be you. Something I also still struggle with, by the way. But it just has to be you. Do the thing. Do it right now. As a matter of fact, it will not break my heart if you pause or end the show right now and go do things that speak to you, that fill you with joy and passion. Go start the podcast. Go start the book. Go start the short story. Go start the blog. Go start the poem. Go start the account on whatever. Just go start something. You have the ability and power within you to create the free will given to you by some unseemly force. Who knows? I don't know. You were born and you were able to create. Do that. For me, for you, especially for you. Create. Do. As a wise person once said, do or do not, there is no try. Which I have thoughts on that, which I will expand upon in another episode, because there is a lot of thoughts to that one, and that is not part of today's episode. So stick around for future episodes, and maybe we'll unpack the do or do not, there is no try quotation. Forget the money. As another famous person once said, forget the money. If you could forget the money, and let me pull up a quote here, actually. I did have the quote, and it was up, and it was really easy to find, because I can hit Control H for my history. I'm going to read you a quote. And I'm not going to screen share it yet. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to screen share it yet. But I'm going to read you a quote. And I would like some hot coffee. Interesting. I'm going to read you a quote. What do you desire? What makes you itch? What sort of a situation would you like? What would you like to do if money were no object? How would you really enjoy spending your life? Crowds of students say, well, we'd like to be painters, we'd like to be poets, we'd like to be writers, but as everybody knows, you can't earn money that way. When we finally got down to something which the individual says he really wants to do, I will say to him, you do that and forget the money, because if you say that getting the money is the most important thing, you will spend your life completely wasting your time. Better to have a short life that is full of what you like doing than a long life spent in a miserable way. And after all, if you really do like what you're doing, it doesn't matter what it is. You can eventually turn it. You can eventually become a master of it. And then you'll be able to get a good fee for whatever it is. Now I'm going to screen share this because that quote is paraphrased. And yes, it is an Ellen Watts quote. And before we let judgment and bias get in our way to understand what I am making a point here to be, my own point, my own perception of this, right? We live in a hellscape where we have to do things we don't want to do for money. But imagine for a moment that instead of saying you can't, you don't, you won't, you start thinking about where you can, where you will. Take for a moment this quote. What would you like to do if money were no object? If you had all the money in the world, or if money was not a concept that existed. We all have the same 24 hours, the same 365 days, the same, time on a manufactured man-made clock. The sun rises and sets, the moon comes up and changes its cycles through full to new. If you have just 5 minutes, 10 minutes of time to sit and think and write down some ideas or some jokes or something, instead of saying, I can't, I don't, I won't, take the time and write down your ideas. 5 minutes every day, 10 minutes every day. Pause, reflect, and think on what you can control and what you do want in your world. I understand that schedules are hard and limited. There's school and work and kids and families and friends and self and work and bills and groceries. Start small and increase day by day, increase week by week, month by month, year by year. It's not going to happen overnight. It never will. It never has. In the history of things, nothing has really ever happened overnight unless it was extreme luck, great circumstances, or a lot of fucking money. Or the right connections, which kind of comes with a lot of fucking money. Most people don't have that, but we do have each other. We do have our skills and our aspirations and each other. This is still a concept I am struggling with myself. But forget the money. What do you want to do? What fills you with joy and laughter and happiness, and what helps you want to give that to other people too? What helps you want to leave behind a better world, a better life, better legacy? Here is a little bit more of that quote. This is where I ended. I'll let you read that. Take it a moment upon yourself. If you are on a non-video episode, take a moment to breathe or log off now, because it is about to be the wrap-up of the episode. I have 3 more things to say, and then we will be done for the day. So do not worry about me double fisting coffee. There's not 2 coffee cups in my hand. I don't know what you're talking about. Absolutely no idea. None whatsoever. None whatsoever. Okay. Yeah, there is one more thing to talk about, and it's this. I should have brought it up after talking about the guest thing. That went way too fast. I should have slowed that down a little bit. Oh well, mistakes were made. Will they be learned from? I don't know. One of the things that has me thinking about the quote I just shared with you and about the life thing and the do what you want is one, everything. I always think about those concepts, but there is someone who commented recently on my YouTube, and they are a lovely human. I love the way that they express themselves and the comments I've seen from them so far. And they had a comment that sat with me, and I couldn't respond to it right away because I was thinking about it. I wanted to respond to it from a place of like connecting and honesty and not just like responding to respond. And I'm still thinking about it because the response I gave still doesn't feel enough. Like, ugh, fuck. But the human that commented, I don't want to share their story. You can investigate yourself if you really feel inclined. But or something, I don't know. But the human that commented, they're going through a lot, right? And from my perspective, they have a lot more freedom in some ways than I do. Freedom that I actually would like to have had or have now, because there were opportunities for similar freedoms in the past. And they are one of the reasons I keep, like, especially right now, presently, I'm thinking so much about this. What do you want to do in life if money were no object? Because I remember asking myself that question a long, long time ago. And, as I said in a previous episode, we live in a system not really designed for human beings. It's designed for cattle, designed for batteries. But I still feel like we have the power to do what we want to do in this life. And though it's a struggle anyway, and somehow maintain our day-to-days. And our day-to-days may end up becoming the life we want. That takes time and a lot of other variable factors. Now, the quote that I was talking about earlier, that life is weird, the internet distorts the weirdness, and blah, 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 blah. Before I get into that, which that is the next topic, I need to show you this, which you might have seen only briefly. And it wasn't even zoomed in all the way, so... This is titled The Invite from the Digital Quill Podcast. Dear human or being of Earth, you've been requested to join the Digital Quill Podcast for a future guest episode. Please reply to this message with one or more of the following. It is an honor to share this universe with you. This is circling back to the guest intentions and anxiety thing. Your email for scheduling purposes and easier correspondence. If received through email, please disregard. Discord, if you have it. Most guest episodes are done through Discord, audio, video call. If you receive this on Discord, please disregard. 1 to 3 subjects that you'd love to talk about. Small chance I already have something in mind, but this is our show and we do an episode together. Tell your story. Your availability. Ms. Wilson prefers mornings at 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, Arizona, but will record at any time save for weekends. Unless that is your only availability, then weekends are okay. Any additional thoughts or comments can and will be sent in another message. Please feel free to ask me anything regarding the show or your appearance. We apologize in advance if we bug you. We just like talking to people and doing the podcast. Some extra thoughts. Availability and email are the most preferred replies. However, control is not something we are a fan of. Thank you for existing and for allowing us to share our time with you. Please get in touch at either dearmars2023@gmail or the Digital Quill Media at gmail. Yeah. I created that the other day because I was like, I have a hard time just asking people. And I'm kind of asking the same thing in every scenario anyway. And I'm like, I don't really like cookie cutter bullshit. But this is a communication, and it's intending to get a guest on the show and have a conversation, interview thing. Why not have a cookie cutter thing that I can just copy and paste, especially if my anxiety is preventing me from typing, hey, do you want to be on the show this week at this time? Blah, blah, blah. How about you handle it and tell me if you want to be on the show? This is my silent plea. I am anxious. Please help me. Does it work? Would you like to receive something like that in your inbox one day? Because I don't know. I thought it was hilarious because I'm like, you know, if I got something like this in my inbox one day, just in a DM or like an email, I'd be like, well, it sounds like the voice of the person who does the podcast, I guess, so it seems genuine enough. Huh. Yeah, all right, I'll bite. Sure. Like, we're not the same people, though, and I'm far more curious than I care to be sometimes. My curiosity has taken me to places that I'd prefer not to talk about. But, one day I will. But, yeah. That's that's one of the fixes I have for my guest anxiety. Copy, paste. Wait for response. Oh, great, they emailed me. I don't have to check my DMs. Awesome, because I mostly do everything through email anyway. Email and phone call. Mostly email, though, because phone calls also have a form of anxiety, and also, I never know when I'm getting phone calls, so I prefer to do email and then schedule a phone call or something. I'm still working on phone call things. There's a lot I'm working on all the time. Endlessly. It's exhausting and exhilarating. It's hard to be two things at once sometimes. And now the quote. Life is already pretty weird. The internet distorts the fuck out of it and makes it weirder and not the good kind of weird. Life is already weird, right? We can agree that life is already kind of weird. You know, we're born into an existence non-consensually. We have to live anywhere between X amount of years or days to X amount of decades. Days to decades. Sorry. Life is weird. And then we have the internet. This gorgeous, wonderful, beautiful creation that just does so many great things. All the great things, actually. But it makes the already weird stuff really, really weird. It distorts the heck out of weird things already. And it's like, We'll get into this another day. But I wanted to leave this episode on the life is already weird and the internet distorts the weird kind of thing because, one, this episode, weird. I feel like hitting record and uploading it to the internet is weird. I'm weird, so I don't really care that it's weird or that I think it's weird because weird. Odd, strange, peculiar, not unordinary. Like, there's a word, there's an O word. I'm trying to think of it. Maybe later. More the sugar one. Life is already weird. There's a quote somewhere in the world that says, life is already weird, be weirder, or something like that. I agree. And the reason I agree is I still have the memory in my brain. I hate that I have the memory in my brain because even though I've worked through it and have grown from it, it still existed and it still affected me and I still had to grow and learn and probably continue to learn. But in elementary school, someone came up to me and they said that people were talking behind my back, and I'm like, yeah, I know, that kind of figures, that happens often. And they're like, you don't know what they're saying though. And I'm like, yeah, probably not. What are they saying? She's weird, don't be her friend. She's too weird, don't be her friend. And I'll admit, even though I already knew that was kind of coming, it still hurt. Still hurt. It even hurts now. And I guess that's one of the reasons, like, even to this day, even though I fight it, even though I know objectively that the opinions of other people don't necessarily matter, they kind of do, in a way, because they affect you, even if you are strong, even if being weird is cool now. And that's why I adopted the mindset growing up. I was like, all right, if I'm already weird, then what's the harm in being weirder? Right? I'll enjoy collecting bugs. I'll write my weird stories. I will do my poetry. I'll write endlessly. I will smile and be cheery. Because honestly, that kind of level of meanness or dismissal or any of the negative stuff that can make up the human condition, I don't want to be about that. I don't want to be about constant negativity. I was raised in it. I came from it. I don't need more of that. I have enough of it already. I'm dragging it around over my shoulder like a bag of Christmas presents from Santa Claus. Here we go again, carrying my negativity around with me a little bit, and it's a part of me, because duality, yin yang, as above so below. But doesn't take the pain away. So be weird. Yeah, this is your permission. This is your let's see. Here's your token. Your token of weirdness. Take it and go be weird. This has concluded this episode of the Digital Quill Podcast with your host, Mars Wilson. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please comment, like, follow, share, subscribe. Do all of the internet things or none of the internet things. It's entirely up to you. If you wish to be a guest on this episode because you thought any of this was entertaining or teaching or inspiring or motivating, get in touch with me at dearmars2023@gmail.com or thedigitalquillmedia@gmail.com. Thank you for existing, human of Earth, being of Earth, and I hope you have a great week, great life. You truly deserve it. Be safe, keep going, don't stop. See you next time.